Welcome back. This one is for the athlete. Now, the one who feels like they're losing themselves, not just their performance, but themselves. Because for so long, you knew exactly who you were. You were the one who pushed harder, the one who showed up early, and the one who didn't quit. And now you're questioning everything. Your body doesn't respond in the same way. Your mind is louder than it's ever been. And the doubt has replaced the certainty. And the question that keeps coming back, what happened? What happened to me? But maybe it's the wrong question. Maybe the real question is, who am I becoming because of this? There's a quote, "It's not what happened to you, but how you react to it that matters." So there comes an identity breakdown in this time. And let's talk about something most athletes never say out loud. You didn't just lose performance. You didn't just get injured. It wasn't just a setback, but you lost your identity. Because your identity was built on being strong, being consistent, being reliable, being the one, being resilient, being tough, being fast. And suddenly, that cracks. And everything feels unstable. You don't just feel injured. You feel irrelevant. You're looking around at all the people that you practiced with and ran with, and they're all out doing their things, and you can't. And that's heavy. But there's a truth that most people don't understand. Your identity is actually never meant to stay fixed. Your identity is designed to evolve. It's supposed to evolve. You know, man cannot discover new oceans unless they have the courage to lose sight of the shore. And reframed, this isn't identity loss. You're not losing who you were. You're being challenged to become more. You know, it's interesting. I often have incredible conversations with athletes who are going through tough times. And recently, one of my athletes going through a lot. Performance is down. There's a lot of outside stuff going on that's not going as well as they'd like. And it's really affecting everything. And I was talking to this one athlete one day, and I was like, "Can I share one of the biggest things I've learned this year?" She's like, "Yeah, please do." And it's like, I was going through a moment where everything seemed to be falling apart. Everything's got hard. I came present to the fact that I'm 58 going on 59, and the fact that the life ahead of me is shorter than the life behind me right now. And that the time is short. The work I'm doing with my podcast and my social media isn't really gaining much traction, or the traction that I thought I would like to have. My running at the time, I'm just like getting worse and worse. I could barely run. Everything felt hard, and they felt so hard. And I started getting demoralized. And the fact that maybe I'll never get my message out. And maybe my body's going to fall apart and I can't do the work I'm doing. And maybe what I'm doing is not good enough. And like, maybe I'm never going to get back to the speed I used to run at. And then one day, I heard this quote, and I'm sure if you've listened to a couple episodes, you know how much I love quotes. And the quote was really simple. It was just before you level up, just before you move to that next level, it gets really hard. What a simple, simple quote. And suddenly I realized that, yeah, it's really hard right now, like really hard. It's harder than it's been in a very long time. And something inside me got excited because I know the truth is in my life, the harder it's got, the closer I was to big, big insight or a new level or moving forward into something better. And I suddenly realized that I'm about to shift, majorly shift. And I'm like really excited now. And then I turned to the athlete and I said, hey, listen, it's okay to feel what you feel. It's okay to feel doubt, fear, stress, all that, and express it. And if you have to let out tears, then do it. That's okay. But can you reserve 10 to 20% deep underneath that of excitement that you know that the harder it gets, the closer you are to the end? And then I said, it's like this athlete is on the track and on the road. And I was like, think about it. You can do hard things. You're a runner. You're impressive. Think about like how hard that last 500 meters is on the road. Oh, you're going to make through it. You're going to make it through that. You will. And maybe it's easier because you can see the finish line or on the track, maybe the last 200 or 300, you can see the finish line. You know you're going to make it because you're that close. Maybe the problem isn't how hard it is. Maybe the problem is because you can't see the end. You can't see the finish line. Maybe that's the truth. So if you are going through a tough moment right now, like really hard, think about it. Maybe it's because you're about to level up. And it seems really scary and you don't know how it'll end. Maybe you can't see the finish line. And maybe you do need to feel what you feel when you're feeling it and feel your way all the way through it. But in the end, when you come through this, you are going to level up. So let's talk about a pain refrain. And we'll go a little bit deeper because pain changes everything, but not in the way you think. Tony Robbins said, I went to a conference down in LA, and one of the big reframes for my life, he said, people will do more to avoid pain than they will to achieve pleasure. He said, this is why it doesn't work if you say, oh, I just got to make it through this and I get to go for a trip to like wherever and like have a great holiday. Like, I just need to lose 20 pounds, then I can go. It's like, it doesn't work that way. He said, the truth is, if you want to change anything, you have to attach more emphasis on the pain of staying the same to the pain of change, and you will change. So now when I talk about pain with athletes, I'm really careful to say it doesn't mean push through sharp shooting pain. This is more mental and emotional pain than physical pain. You have to listen to physical. So when we talk about pain here, we're talking more mental and emotional. Because as an athlete, you have been taught that pain is bad, that pain means stop, and pain means failure. And that's mental and emotional. But what if pain is actually communication? What if your body, your mind, your life is trying to get your attention? Think about it. Injury, like pain in the body. that's your body saying something needs to change. Now, my last episode was called Maximizing Recovery, and that's a good one to look at. If there's starting to be consistent pain in your body, injury is not a result of overwork. It's a result of under recover. And if you can maximize recovery, you can change that. So maybe it's just the pain is telling you need to shift. Maybe you need to incorporate rest day. But pain is a message. When it comes to burnout, maybe it's not that you're doing too much as much as you're not doing enough of what you love. You need to have something outside of your main thing, something to lean into on the bad day. Community, like time with people. And fear. When you are afraid, just like I said, fear, when it gets really hard, when you're really afraid, you are at the edge of growth. I love the quote that fear, it's a mile wide, but it's only an inch deep. And often when you're standing on the edge of fear, it seems completely insurmountable. But when you lean into fear, you see how shallow it truly is. Rumi said, the wound is where the light enters you. And say that, the wound is opening. It's an opening. Strengths, resilience, compassion is all built through that. So let's talk about the breaking point. Think about the lowest moment that you've ever had. Not the highlight, not the win, but the moment you thought, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And I think we've all been there. That moment, that's where the separation happens because most people walk away there. Most people give up in that moment. But think about that. I don't know if I can keep doing this. Because if you don't know you can, you don't know you can't. See, that is the turning point for many athletes. I remember one of my athletes, 10 weeks out of a major competition, which was a potential to get a spot in the Olympics, they were done. They were going to quit. And I'm like, just one day at a time. Get up, do the work. Don't care about the quality. Just get the work in. And they kept on going. And they achieved Olympic standard and qualified for the Olympics in that one race. You see, that is the point where the ones who transform, the true transformation, they stay. And they don't stay because it's easy, but because something in them says there's more here. Honestly, when you feel like quitting, you just have to remember your why. Why did you start? Why do you do this? So maybe we need to rebuild something critical. It's called self-trust. Because confidence comes and goes, but self-trust, that's different. Self-trust is built when you show up when it's hard, when you show up when you don't want to, when you keep promises to yourself, when you stop abandoning yourself, when you become your own hype person, when you give yourself a pep talk. See, because in these moments, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You just need to get up one more time. If you want a mantra, here it is. I don't feel ready to act. I don't need to feel ready to act. I don't need certainty to move. I just need to show up. Once again, I don't need to feel ready to act. You can't feel ready to act. Being ready is a decision. It's not a feeling. I don't need certainty to move. You just have to move. I just need to show up and show up and over again, one more time, every time, until you get to the place that you want to be. Because confidence is built by doing the things you thought you couldn't. And maybe we also have to redefine winning. And let's redefine something that has been controlling your life, and it's called winning. Because right now, quite possible, your definition is hurting you. Because the old definition, winning equals results. If you're results driven, that's it. The new definition is winning is it equals who you become under pressure. What did you build? What strength? What did you learn about yourself? What did you overcome? How is your resilience? Ask yourself, did I show up? Did I stay present? Did I give what I have today? And that's important, right? You can't measure today's performance by yesterday's performance, because some days you're at 100% and you are going to crush it. Another day you're at 30%. And if you're measuring every day by your 100% days, you're going to spend a lot of time being very disappointed. But if you go up on your 30% day and you gave 100% of that 30%, you can be proud of that day. Because you're winning. Even now, especially now. All my athletes out there, you are not behind and you're not broken and you're definitely not finished. You're in the middle of something most people will never experience, and it's called transformation. And if you can't meet yourself at the bottom, you will never get to meet yourself at the top. In these moments, this is where you'll meet yourself. This is where you'll meet the one that has that little extra. The one who gets up anyway. The one who tries again anyway. The one who doesn't quit. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Just move. We're not meant to crush every moment. And the truth is, if we didn't meet up against adversity, how will we have any strength? It's resistance that builds, not life as smooth. Resistance will build you. It will build strength. It will build resilience. It will build confidence. It will produce results. It's okay if you're not where you want to be right now. You just need to keep on showing up for yourself. Because there's a future self cheering you on. So keep going. Thank you for showing up again. Thank you for hanging out to the end of this. Keep on trusting the process. Keep on having patience. And keep on building your own inner advocate.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Inner Advocate, a podcast by Kimen Peterson, formerly Conversations with Kimen. If you found value in today's episode, please follow, like, and share the podcast with someone who you think may benefit from it. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and connect on Instagram at your_inner_advocate. Until next time, keep listening to and developing your inner advocate.